Hey everyone, good evening. Well, we have a guilty verdict in the case against James Crumbley in Michigan, the father of the shooter, the Oxford High School. The shooter killed 4 students back in 2021. His mother, Jennifer Crumbley, was convicted earlier this year in another trial, and James Crumbley has just been convicted by this jury of 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter. Remarkably similar, both juries deliberated for a little bit over 10 hours. Jennifer Crumbley's jury closer to 11 hours, James Crumbley's jury a little closer to 10 hours, but a similar time and reached a similar conclusion. And it says to me that the juries were careful about it. It says to me that the juries were not unanimously, absolutely sure. From the minute they hit that jury room, they wanted to talk about it. They wanted to consider the evidence. I thought there was some chance of a different result with James Crumbley than Jennifer Crumbley for a few reasons. First of all, there's been a lot of conjecture that the father would be treated differently from the mother, that we expect more from mothers than we do from fathers, and therefore she might have been held accountable, whereas he wouldn't be. That was one issue. I thought more importantly that there was better evidence against her, not only in terms of what she should have known about her son's condition, but there was some bad character evidence that came out about her. There was all this evidence about her having an affair and hooking up in the Costco parking lot and stuff that made her look pretty bad. And another big difference was that Jennifer Crumbley took the stand in her defense and James Crumbley didn't. You might think that would benefit Jennifer instead of James, except the problem was Jennifer's testimony didn't go very well at all. The prosecution had a pretty good time cross-examining her, and most tellingly, when asked if she would do anything differently with everything she knows now, she said no, which I thought was a very damning answer, and I thought that the decision to put her on as a witness backfired in that case. I also thought, frankly, that James Crumbley's lawyers did a better job in the defense of the case. They just were a little more focused. They were very dead center. Jennifer Crumbley's lawyer, you may remember, sort of took it down to a personal level that didn't always work. James Crumbley, his lawyers did a very good job with the evidence they had from what I saw of the trial. So I thought there was a possibility of inconsistent results, but the juries proved me wrong. 2 juries looked at the evidence and came to the same conclusion. And you have to say that there was evidence there, that their son was in deep emotional troubles that they should have known about, that they purchased a gun for him, which was a questionable judgment considering everything that was going on. But even worse, they didn't secure the gun. They left it in the house. They didn't lock it up. They hid it in a drawer or put the bullets in the armoire, something like that. But it wasn't under lock and key. It was where the son could and did get a hold of it. This was a 15-year-old boy, keep in mind, and the jury was probably disturbed that he had access to that weapon. And then the key to the case was that the parents were called into the school the morning before the shooting. There had been some issues with the son the day before. He had been looking at bullets on his phone, and the day of the murders, he had been looking at other video on his phone and had also written some pictures and written some words on a math assignment that indicated there might be a problem. He'd drawn a picture of the gun. He'd drawn a picture of someone bleeding. He had written some things about needing help. The parents came into school and did not take the son home with them, did not go home to make sure that the gun was there and safe. They left the school, went about their day, and several hours later, the shooter pulled that gun out of his backpack, went, shot and killed 4 of his fellow students and injured some other people. So I think the juries in both of these cases were probably disturbed about the parents' failure to secure the gun and failure to act the day of the massacre. And that is why they held him liable. Groundbreaking. This is the first trials in this country where the parents have been accused and held responsible, criminally responsible, for a shooting committed by their child. It's incredible precedent that will have to be considered going forward. Both parents now, the wife and the father, James Crumbley, guilty of 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter, and we'll wait and see his sentencing. I think he could get 15 years for each crime, either concurrently or consecutively. We'll see what happens with that. All right, that's it for tonight. James Crumbley convicted. Everyone, have a good evening.